welcome back to Twin Tiers Overtime. My name's Kalanas. That's Nick Ketter as always.
Hey, we're glad to be back again. It's going to be another great week. We got some great guests coming up from Elmira College Volleyball, head coach Dan Miranda and Maddie Hampton. That team's off to a pretty good start at 2-1. So we're excited to see how their season is going. Plus, they have a big tournament coming up.
And on top of that, we have high school football updates. We have baseball. Baseball is going down the wire here for playoffs. Hopefully the Yankees do something, but we'll talk about that when we get to it, Nick.
We'll see.
Nick, I feel like you and I have a lot to say on that.
Oh, definitely. Hopefully we don't take up like the whole show with it.
2 hours later, and another thing. But hey, let's get going on to high school. And Section 4 football fall. I need to emphasize the word fall there. Football returned for the first time in 2 years this past weekend. And with that was a new stadium. Nick, tell us a little bit about that new stadium.
Yeah, Horseheads. What an awesome environment that was. Walking in there, obviously for me being the Horseheads grad, you walk in there, immediately run into people you know. My dad and sister went out to the game. It was pretty awesome, and they had alumni on the field to welcome the team on, and my dad got to be a part of that, so that was really neat. There was people literally from the front gate, front entrance, all the way into the crowd. The bleachers were packed. It was just one of the coolest environments I think I've been a part of, and to be able to go all around there. They had the mascot going around. Man, it was just awesome. And then after touchdown, there was the light show with the lights going down and up, and it was just an insane environment that is just really refreshing and awesome to see at Horseheads. And they did get a 20-0 win, but they got Elmira coming into that stadium next. Also, the boys and girls soccer also got wins on that field as well. So it's a big deal. It's really awesome, and it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't been to the new stadium. It's 100% worth it. It's very cool.
And that was a really big win for Horseheads. Just kicking off the new stadium with a shutout of no less. By the way, that's always good to have.
Yeah.
Against Vestal, 20-0.
Yeah, it's Corning. They defeated Ithaca 47-7,
which you were also at.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Riley Loomis. He got one of his 3 touchdowns. Then I saw Mason Smith get one of his 3 touchdowns. So if you're a running back in Section 4 in Week 1, you're scoring all kinds of touchdowns, apparently. Also, Elmira got a 53-8 win over Binghamton.
By the way, I saw they were actually working on their own stadium. I sent you a picture. They have the new scoreboard up at the high school, not where they play up at the middle school now, but at the high school. They put up a new stadium. They're obviously working on it. They put up the new scoreboard. They're obviously working on the stadium.
Yeah, the former Southside High School. That's going to be interesting too. I'm just as excited to see that one as I have.
Hopefully they have lights, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, anything new is good. Honestly, I love the new stadiums, the excitement that goes around it. Because now that we've had the Horseheads one and the Corning one a few years ago, it's just like everybody is. Oh, and the sports scene is like, yes, there's more new stadiums. And it's also on the 8-man football scene. Actually, before we get there, Watkins Glen on tour. Yeah.
Yep. Watkins Glen, Odessa Montour 35, Shenango Valley 12 in their game. And then the 8-man league, Trumansburg beating Notre Dame 58-14. And then Newfield and Edison, who played on a Wednesday of all days, because nothing says football like Wednesday.
Yeah, it definitely kicked off the Week 1. It was interesting. I had a chance to go over to Notre Dame too, but man, there were some good plays going on over there. I really got to say, I love shooting with the 8-man football. It's very exciting. There's a lot of scoring going on and a lot of big plays. I know Aiden Alexander from Trumansburg made some phenomenal plays, and Eric Bukowinski and Owen Stort had a couple plays that were on 18 Sports on the weekend, and in our plays of the week, actually, that was up on Monday. So, man, check those out for sure. There were some great plays there. And now we head to the northern tier. NTL football played their games last week. There was one game on the 9th. That was Muncie and Wyalusing. Muncie won that one 42-8. Then pretty much every game was played on Friday night after that on the 10th. Sayre beat CMVT 63-14. Troy got another win 35-7 over Central Columbia. Canton won 21-7 over South Williamsport. Bald Eagle got another win, 50-7 over North Penn Mansfield. I've seen them a couple times this year. Bald Eagle, they're pretty solid.
Bald Eagle is really solid. As you can tell, I'm just struggling with words today.
I mean, if you want to say, they should have big egos because they're playing really well. Yeah. Anyway, Athens was 35-0 over Towanda. Kawaneski Valley got a 15-14 win over Northwest. That was I think the closest game we've had all year. That was a good one out there. And Tioga won 56-3 over Sydney. Livonia beat Haverling 20-20. Hornell won 6-0. Probably the lowest scoring game we've seen over Marcus Whitman Bloomfield. So there were some great games, and there's going to be more coming up. But we'll get you set for volleyball coming up. We got two great guests on, as we mentioned earlier.
Yes, we do, Nick. Elmira College's Maddie Hampton and head coach Daniel Miranda will be joining us here momentarily. But first, let's go over those stats, shall we? In 2020, the Soaring Eagles went 6-4, and their season ended in a 3-2 loss to Nazareth in the Empire 8 semifinals. That was April 22nd, 2020, by the way. Just want to put that date out there.
Yeah.
This season, CC is currently 2-1 as they start out their season. They lost to the University of Rochester 3-0 on the first, but beat Keystone College 3-0.
Yeah, the game against Hilbert College was postponed on the 8th, so they thought they were going into the previous week here with two games. They actually ended up with one, and they saved all that energy to play Casanova. They beat them 3-0 on the 10th. Next, they head to Max Seal Gym, a place that's near and dear to me, in Oswego, for their invitational volleyball tournament. That is a big weekend. They play SUNY Potsdam and Oswego State on the 17th, and then SUNY Canton and St. Lawrence on the 18th. Now, the format of that really isn't a tournament. It's more so they just play 4 different matches. You really get a chance to see what you have, and I believe there's some like players of the invitational afterwards, and usually the teams with the best record when I covered it, we were wishing they played each other by the second day because it was so exciting. So if you're up in Oswego and you can check that out, definitely do so. But if not, keep it with us. We'll have all the updates for you.
Oh, yes, we will. Now EC is soaring is outsourcing. Is that right? Outsourcing?
I think I spelled that wrong, but let's just say outsoaring. I like that better.
I mean, we are talking about EC, so of course.
That's perfect.
EC is outscoring opponents in kills 79-47 and service aces 37-14. Horsehead's grad Maddie Hampton has 18 digs and 12 service aces on the season.
Yeah, Kyle, that leads the team, and she's really rolling here. So we're going to be happy to talk to her soon. That's going to be a great interview. Ryan Cassidy leading with assists with 54. That's the most on the team by a lot. Sam Sprague leading with 12 kills. Callie Volk leading in blocks with 4. And how about head coach Daniel Miranda? He's been around for a couple of years, and we're excited to see what he has to say as well.
As you can tell, I'm a mess today.
We're almost there.
I know. That's the worst part about this.
We're really cruising, honestly.
No, we will hear from him in just a second here on Twin Tiers Overtime. Stick with us.
Welcome back to Twin Tiers Overtime. We are joined today with Elmira College Volleyball's head coach Dan Miranda and Maddie Hampton. Thank you guys both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So this question's for both of you. Now, how have you guys both prepared for the season as just yourself and the team?
I know for me, we've just really mentally prepared with getting the girls ready to go leading into the summers and that sort of thing with training and trying to play as much as possible for them and really emphasize doing the workouts several times a week. And then over the summertime, pretty much the kids are on their own. So just playing as much as you can, every opportunity you can, whether it's doubles, triples, sixes, whatever you can do. I think getting touches is good, and being able to play volleyball is always fun, and being able to prep for season has been huge, and I really think the team has bought into that. I don't know, Maddie?
Yeah, I started the summer out working out a lot, trying to get in as many volleyball games as I can, playing grass, beach. That's about it.
Yeah, we were able to do something a little bit different this summer with hosting a grass fours tournament over on campus field, which was cool. They not only get the team back in the play over the summer, but bring some outside volleyball players from different schools, and also some of the old timers that came in that were able to get the job done as well.
Oh, very cool. Good
Yeah.
mix there. Speaking of alumni, you had a special night the other night. The court being named for Pat Thompson, who's been an alum and held many positions at the school. Could you guys just talk about that night and talk about Pat Thompson?
Certainly. I know Pat Thompson I think she had just left when Maddie had first came in, but I know Pat was a huge piece in my life and giving me the opportunity to be a member and take over the men's program back in the fall of 2016. And was since then have been able to work through the men's program and give those players some opportunities. But if it wasn't for her, I definitely would not be here today. And she's a legend for sure, and she deserves all the accolades she has gotten. And we felt honored to be able to host the dedication ceremony for volleyball this last week.
Now, this one's for Maddie. Now, you led the team in digs and service aces. Talk about that and talk about your success on the court.
It's very important to focus, and I think a big one on that is focusing on the mental aspects of the game and keeping my mindset on the game, but also having fun on the court, I think is a big aspect to leading to the digs and aces.
Awesome. And you mentioned having fun on the court. You're a Horseheads grad. So what's it like to play at home in front of family and friends?
It feels good being able to play at home and having my family there to support me.
Now, we're going to switch over to Dan for a second. Now, what other strong performances are you seeing from this team?
I think early on, we're still kind of figuring out what our group is going to be in terms of making that playoff push. But right now, we're looking for pretty much top to bottom, everybody stepping up. And it's been a full-on kind of full court press, for lack of a better word, that everyone on the team has been stepping up in a big way. And we've had some freshmen make some big moves, some seniors make some big moves. Seniors specifically, I think Kayleen Soschuk has been our in that M2 position for the last few years and doing some really big things offensively and blocking wise. And Sam Sprague is returning and doing some really big things for us offensively on the right side. She had a huge game against U of R to start off the season, and we're expecting some big offensive pushes from them on both fronts this upcoming weekend at Oswego, which is a huge weekend because we got 4 matches back to back, which is probably going to be our biggest test for the year because we don't have a ton of quad weekends, which historically we've had. But this year we've kind of made a little bit more balanced schedule where it's not tri-match or mostly tri-matches or single matches, but we're excited to see how people respond. I think Amelia Martin has also been a core piece for us. Sometimes she's played setter, she's played right side and outside right now. We're not really sure where where she's going to fit in the mix, but we know she's going to be out there just because she passes nails and defensively has been solid for us for the last several years. Right now, she's doing a great job on the back row and keeping that ball up in the air, but we're working on some offensive things as a team, and we're excited to see how things play out.
Awesome. And this one's a little bit for both of you as well. You're coming off the win, obviously, against Casanova. And how will you guys take that momentum? I know you mentioned the Oswego tournament coming up at Maxfield Gym. That's where I went to school, so I get to cover that tournament. So it's a pretty big weekend up there. How are you going to take that momentum up there?
I think it's just kind of we've been working on some offensive pieces, some different play aspects of things, some gelling on defensive in terms of defensive coverages. And fortunately, libero-wise, she's been working hard on that side of things. But I think just kind of going all out in every type of situation, whether it's practice and games, and just clean up some of those minor details and kind of gel a little bit as a team. We're fortunate enough to have some young blood running our offense between Cassidy Ryan as a sophomore and Cammie Witchley is coming in as a freshman, and she's doing a nice job of kind of learning the Elmira process. But with any new players or any new people in those positions, it just comes with comfort with the people next to you. And right now, our serve receive is what we've been focusing in on.
Last season ended in the Empire 8 semifinals. What is the end goal for this season, and how do you think that'll drive this team to get to that goal?
So I'll let Maddie answer what her goals are, and then we can kind of go with the team and kind of how we've emphasized from there.
So last year we lost in the semifinals, so I think it motivated a lot of the returners coming back to really push for that Empire 8 title. I think a lot of us have come back with lots of energy and determination to get to that spot this year.
I think that's huge. And one thing we've kind of made a focus is everyone's kind of had their own individualized goals, while the team goal is to get back into that Empire 8 championship conversation. The last couple of years we've been in the semis, but we felt like haven't gotten to what our potential is. And obviously we can talk about potential for years and years, but at some point we want to be able to get it done. And I know these girls are hungry to be able to get it done. And I think with that push over the summer and those trainings, I think they're really ready to go right off the bat and excited to kind of get that ball rolling with some big matches this weekend.
All right. And that was head coach Dan Miranda and Maddie Hampton for Elmira College Volleyball. And best of luck in the Oswego tournament coming up and the season.
Thank you so much.
All right. And we'll be right back on Twin Tiers Overtime.
Tell I changed my shirt.
I have a shirt right here that's probably going to key you into what we're going to talk about next. Yeah.
So as some of you may know, Derek Jeter was finally inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown this past week. And Nick and I are Yankee fans, if you didn't know. Hold on.
If you can't tell, we might be a little excited.
Just a little.
Like, I mean, we don't have any gear or anything like that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Jeter played for 20 seasons for the New York Yankees, proving countless memorable moments. And what was your favorite moment? I got to ask.
Oof. Well, I mean, you got the flip play, got the jump throw, the dive in the crowd, the home run. Probably the home run for his 3,000th hit, to be honest, because I was old enough to know what was going on at that point. And we were waiting, and finally, like, there it was, the 3,000th hit. Michael K on the call. It couldn't have been any more perfect. Plus, I got to see him play in the old stadium as well. And
I sadly did not get to see him in the old stadium. I saw him in the new stadium.
I saw him in the new stadium too, but he didn't play. He came out. It was Joe Torre Day, and he actually came out on the field, even though he was out for the day. But still cool. Just an awesome player, probably the most popular baseball player of my era growing up.
So I have a story on that 3,000 hit. So my buddy and we were supposed to be at that game.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because we were talking about going to a Yankees game, and that was the date that we were going to go. The thing was, my mom scheduled my high school graduation party for the same day.
Oh no.
Yes. So we didn't get to go. And I remember that day, a lot more people were concerned about Jeter's 3,000 hit than my graduation, including me.
Kyle's graduation party has gone out the window.
Literally,
Okay.
everyone was more focused on the game. And I'm just like, I can't blame them.
Yeah. Well,
And then, of course, Jeter got the hit, and it was just like, oh my God.
well, at least that made for a cool fan moment with everybody. I'm sure you're all watching it.
There
That
was a few of us that were watching it or listening to it on, John Sterling with the call.
yeah, yeah.
Because
But,
that was when the Yankee games were actually broadcast locally on radio.
Mhm.
You can actually pick it up with a radio.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. But 3,465 hits, over 1,300 RBIs, 260 home runs, and a 310 career batting average. Surefire Hall of Famer with numerous accolades, 14 All-Star selections, 5 Gold Gloves, 5 Silver Sluggers, AL Rookie of the Year in '96, Clemente Award. There's so many awards. Obviously, he's got his number 2 retired by the Yankees, and he was honored alongside Marvin Miller, Ted Simmons, and Larry Walker in the class of 2020. So a very cool day for Yankees fans. I think definitely a long-awaited day for Yankees fans.
And it was probably the last time. It's probably the last time in a while the Yankee fans have been happy, because this season has been really up and down, as you know.
It hasn't been consistent at all.
No, it has not. And let's talk about that for a quick second, shall we? As you know, the playoffs are coming. Yankees, they're still in it despite losing last 9 out of 10, I think.
They actually won.
They won yesterday.
Yesterday.
Won yesterday against Minnesota. We are recording this on Tuesday, just so you know. So they could easily beat Baltimore in the next 3 days. Who knows?
Whom they've struggled to beat for some reason in the last couple games, but it's usually a team that they score 1 million runs against. But I don't know what's going on this year. Anyway, they're 4th in the AL East now. 9.5 games back, but they're a half game out of the wild card, which Toronto now holds. And at the moment, it'd be Boston versus Toronto for the wild card. So they need to do some winning in the last couple of games of the season here to get back into that wild card spot.
Yep. They just not need. They need to win, but they also need other things to happen now. And considering that amazing winning streak they went on, they should not be in this spot. Let's just be honest. This team has a ridiculous payroll. This team is ridiculous talent on paper. The mere fact they're in this spot is just bonkers.
Yeah, it's just the injuries, the inconsistency. It's just wild. They're probably the most streaky team in the league. And when it comes to they can win this many games in a row, but then they've lost this many games in a row. You win that many games in a row, 13, and then you can't beat Baltimore. I mean, it's a lot of games in the season, but still, I mean, with the firepower you have on the pitching side finally and the batting side, I really don't think that should be an issue. But I mean, I'm not a professional baseball player, but man, it should be a better season if you're a Yankees fan.
And speaking of better season, we'll touch on it real quick. The Mets, they still are in it. They're currently 3rd in the NL East. They're 3 games out of the wild card. They did win 1 game. Actually, no, I'm sorry. They won 2 games because they beat the Yankees twice this past weekend.
Right.
The Reds, Phillies, and Cardinals are the teams they're playing against. And what do you think? Do you think they got a shot?
Well, the Reds had a hot streak this year. The Phillies are pretty solid, and the Cardinals are, kind of shaky. I just feel like that's a lot of teams for them to cover in the last half of the season. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, but Dodgers and Padres, they'll be in the wild card game currently. If the Mets can't pull off kind of a miracle, I would say at this point,
they really do need a miracle if they're going to make it.
I mean, I feel like it's a little bit promising. They kind of had an offensive explosion for at the end of the season here in the last couple of games, so there's potential there, but I don't know if it's going to happen this season for them. But I guess we'll see.
We will see. We will see. That will do it for this week's Twin Tiers Overtime. Thank you to Elmira College Volleyball's Maddie Hampton and head coach Daniel Miranda for joining us.
Yeah, for
My
more
name's
local.
Kaunas.
Oh,
that's Nick Ketter.
Yeah, as always. Yeah, I was going to say, for more local sports and past episodes, go Twin Tiers Overtime. Check out mytwintiers.com/sports and mytwintiers.com/Twin Tiers Overtime. Well, I guess that'll do it for today.
That'll do it. See ya.